All right, welcome to question 16 of the AAMC Preview Practice Test Exam Review. And let's jump right into it. You are assisting a physician at a local hospital. Upon entering a patient's room, you forgot to wash your hands because you are nervous. In front of the patient, the doctor explains that you did not follow protocol because you did not wash your hands. All right, so as you know, we've done for every question so far. Let's just summarize it, summarize the main problem. And the main problem here is that, you broke hospital protocol by not washing your hands when entering a patient's room. And your supervising physician called you out on that mistake. So we've seen a few of these questions so far, right? Where we've made a mistake. And what have we learned from those? Well, we've learned that it's important to address the mistake. Right? That's often the first question that we ask. If we're addressing it, beginning to deal with it, if we're taking accountability for it, if we're correcting the mistake and, making sure it doesn't happen again in the future. Those are some important takeaways that we've had from previous questions that had that were concerning similar scenarios. So with that, let us go into 16.1. Explain to the doctor that you were nervous and forgot to wash your hands. All right, so let's start where we normally start, right? Let's do our two-step differentiation process. And like we said before, we're going to use the second question here. Are you taking steps to resolve or address the main problem? Are you taking steps to deal with the main problem? Very clearly we are, right? We're explaining to the doctor that we were nervous and we forgot to wash our hands. We're owning up to it to some degree. So very, and we're telling the truth very clearly, we can put this into a 3 or a 4 because we're dealing with it, right? We're addressing the situation kind of head on. So how do we differentiate between a 3 and a 4? You can kind of read through these, and I'm going to add one more here for this question because I think it kind of will help illuminate the difference between a 3 and a 4 for this question. What was that? Oh my God, what happened there? All right, I don't know what that was about. Okay. This last question here. If you made a mistake, to what degree are you correcting your mistake? Now, why is that relevant? Because remember, the difference between a 3 and a 4, right? A 3 could help the situation. An effective answer could help, but will not significantly improve the situation. A 4 will significantly improve the situation. And one thing is when you make a mistake, correcting it. And often that could entail, making sure it doesn't happen in the future, but correcting it to some degree, that is a difference in how we are improving the situation, right? To what degree we're improving the situation is entailed in this question of to what degree are we correcting it, right? So if you go back and let's go back to our question here. Explain to the doctor that you were nervous and forgot to wash your hands. Now, very clearly we're addressing it, right? But we're not really correcting the mistake to any degree. We're not taking actionable steps to improve the situation. And it's not a direct solution to the main problem, right? The main problem was that we broke hospital protocol by not washing our hands, right? And to what degree is this a solution to that? Or addressing or, taking steps to resolve it? Not too much, right? And it's not doing enough to correct the mistake. So that's why it's going to be a 3 response. All right. $16.2. Apologize for your mistake and assure the doctor it will not happen again. Okay, so let's start, right? Let's start with our first question. Are you taking steps to resolve or address the main problem? Very clearly we are, right? We're taking steps to resolve and we are addressing the main problem head on, right? We're apologizing for a mistake, which is really key. We're taking more ownership of it. And compared to the last question, and it doesn't mean that, we're grading this response relative to the last question, but at least compared to the last question, we do have a greater sense of accountability here and taking responsibility, because we are apologizing for our mistake, right? So with that kind of said, and combined with the fact that we're clearly addressing the our mistake, this is going to be a 3 and a 4. All right, so differentiating between a 3 and a 4. All right, you can kind of read through these and pause the video and see how you would answer each of these questions in respect to our response. I think two things that kind of jump out at me is on this last point, right? To what degree are you correcting your mistake? We are definitely correcting it, right? In the sense that we will make sure it won't happen again. And in that vein, we are correcting our underlying habit of not, and to forget washing your hands. In that way, I do think we're correcting it definitely to a higher degree than the last question. And more importantly, how proactive is our response in helping prevent similar problems from occurring in the future? Are very definitely making sure, this will not happen again. Very clearly that was stated. So because of that, this is going to be a 4 response. All right. .3. Tell the doctor you have not gotten a chance to do it yet. Okay, yeah. So, the first thing we can tell is we're lying here, right? It says in the prompt that we just forgot to wash our hands because we were nervous. The prompt didn't say that, we were about to do it or we were getting ready to do it. Very clearly, we are not owning up to the mistake. We're not taking responsibility. We're not being accountable. This is a 1 or a 2. We can kind of ask that question here too. We just added, to what degree are you correcting your mistake when differentiating a 3 and a 4? Here, I'm going to add, to what degree are you taking accountability for your mistake? And although they're similar, we can see when we ask this question, we are not in the slightest taking accountability for this mistake here, right? And because of that, this will be a 1 response. Definitely lying is going to make the situation worse. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Let's go to 16.4. We can kind of add on, because what we're gonna see is this is fairly similar too, right? 16.4, assure the patient that your hands are clean. All right, so definitely, we are breaking hospital protocol, first of all, because according to the scenario, we are required to do that when we enter the hospital, enter the patient's room. Secondly, we're lying again, right? We're definitely not taking accountability for our mistake. Thirdly, so at least that, we can kind of put this into a 1 or a 2, and kind of differentiating between that. Here again, one very clear tool we can use is to ask this question: are there any overt consequences to our response? Well, very clearly we are risking patient care, right? Because by not washing our hands, who knows if our hands are clean or not? It's still protocol to wash our hands because it's in the best interest of the patient and for the safety of the examination. Or in that sense, there are very, very clear overt consequences. Not only are we lying, but by risking patient care, this is going to be a 1 response. Very, very ineffective. All right, 16.5. Wash your hands immediately. Okay, so, let's ask, where we've kind of started with all these questions, are you taking steps to resolve or address the main problem? Well, Our main problem is that we broke hospital protocol by not washing our hands. Are we taking steps to address that? Yeah, very clearly we are, right? We are taking steps to address it. And not only that, we can go back to differentiating a 3 and a 4. Although our response isn't very proactive in helping prevent similar problems from occurring in the future, very clearly to what degree are you correcting your mistake? We are upholding this question almost to the highest degree, right? Because we're immediately correcting the mistake we made, taking that feedback from our supervising physician and implementing it. And, if you go back to, once again, differentiating a 3 and a 4, right? A 4 will significantly improve the situation. What that means here is correcting our mistake, right? And this allows us to cross that threshold of meeting the 4 response. Because it directly addresses the main problem. A very, very clear, direct answer, taking that feedback. And that's kind of one of the big takeaways from, the AAMC wants you to understand when dealing with scenarios where you might have messed up, potentially messed up, did mess up. They just want you to grow and learn from this mistake and correct the situation to whatever degree you can. That is going to be very, very critical in determining the effectiveness of answers and kind of the main thrust of questions that deal with scenarios of mistakes. All right, so that was question 16. I hope everyone is doing well. I've had a pretty rough day this morning, but I'm happy that we got one more video out. And yeah, I will see y'all back for question 17. Definitely please like and comment and subscribe if you can. And yeah, I'll see you back for question 17. All right, bye.